Last week, at the UN Plaza Church Center in Manhattan, on the occasion of 69th Annual United Nations Commission of Status of Women, took place a parallel event organized by Association for Trauma Outreach and Prevention, ATOP Meaningful World, and its founder, Dr. Annika Kalajian. The theme of the event was AI, Artificial Intelligence, and EI, Emotional Intelligence, Challenges to Healing Women Locally and Globally. The event opened with invocation by Sharon Hamilton Getz from the World Harmony Council and Art Forum.
Let us honor the journeys of women and girls everywhere, for they are not defined by their trauma, but by their courage to heal. Join us in supporting survivors and advocating for change. In this sacred place, we gather our hearts and minds to honor the resilience and strength of countless women and girls around the world. We recognize the pain and trauma that many have endured, and we extend our compassion and solidarity to them. May we uplift the voices of those who have been silenced and empower those who have felt powerless. We hold in our thoughts the stories of courage, resilience, and hope.
Dr. Kalajian shared a poem she wrote on the occasion of 69th Annual United Nations Commission of Status of Women to celebrate Mother Earth.
I'm grateful for all you do to nurture, love, and protect us. Thank you for being consistently supportive, compassionate, and present. When I'm feeling tired and weary, you energize me with brother sun. See, we need both feminine and masculine. Empowering me within and energizing my body, my mind, and my soul. When I'm feeling sad and abandoned, you guide me to an almond tree. The trunk empowers me and supports my back, while the branches give me shade and comfort. When I'm feeling used and victimized, I submerge myself in the bosom of your sea. Just like a womb, not only do you wash my miseries away, but also nurture, feed, and caress me into wholeness. When I'm feeling hopeless and disenchanted, you lead me to a beautiful sunrise. Just watching the sun come up fills me with lots of hope, perseverance, and faith, and lets me know that all is okay. When I feel I'm in darkness or lost, you illuminate with ever-present moon, guiding my way through the unknown until I reconnect with my inner compass. When I'm in fear and wanting to run away, you send a cloud formation, reminding me that just like the clouds, my emotions are always in motion. If only I could detach and set them free. Thank you, Mother Earth. On this 69th anniversary of the Commission on Status of Women, just like you, we all possess the power to choose, to be, and to care, to watch our emotions with detachment and love. You show me how to become whole by being and not by doing, and not like Descartes once said, I am because I think. I am because I am a human being, not human doing. I don't identify with my thoughts, nor with my emotions. I am because I love unconditionally, and I create joy within me and all around me. Thank you so much.
The first panelist, Sunita Kshatriya, from American University in Dubai, presented a PowerPoint lecture titled Empowering Women in Business and Education, the role of AI and EI in advancing well-being and leadership in the UAE. In her remarks, she emphasized the integration of artificial intelligence AI and emotional intelligence EI to empower women in leadership roles.
So the commitment of United Arab Emirates is pretty top-down because there is a very extensive role that the government plays. They have created a gender council to look at equity for women, and they are looking at women participating in government, they're looking at women participating in business, and they're looking at women participating in education. So they are promoting this extensively through policy advocacy and through action on the ground. The current scenario is that there is an increase in enrollment of women in business education as well as in leadership roles, unlike what we think about Middle East when we look from this perspective. There are certain challenges, definitely. There is gender bias, as is there in many countries, and also because women have a difficulty in balancing work-life balance, although in the United Arab Emirates it's much easier to achieve that because there is support at home. Not from the spouse, but other kinds of support, and then building leadership skills. There are some global examples of how artificial intelligence and emotional intelligence are being used to empower women. I think Wobot and Visa are AI chatbots that help in building mental health, resilience. There is a foundation called Rahi that integrates artificial intelligence with counseling. Even leadership and advocacy is happening using artificial intelligence. In fact, there's a United Nations-led women initiative called She Leads, which is artificial-driven mentoring program, where a woman can get connected to a coach and get the support she needs. And then, of course, economic empowerment, Grameen banking, which started in Bangladesh, now is powered by artificial intelligence, helps in supporting women who don't understand financial handling, how can they handle auditing or finances, so that it helps them to do that. So I believe that artificial intelligence and emotional intelligence go together because artificial intelligence is the backbone and emotional intelligence is the front end. And it's very important to teach emotional intelligence and resilience to women and build their skills in a targeted way. Educational institutions must definitely have gender inclusivity when they are building artificial intelligence programs and looking at how they can empower women specifically. In fact, my university, 70% of the teaching faculty students are women. So I'm not talking of a university like that, but where there is a potential for women to be upgraded and skilled, I think it's very important. And also, emotional intelligence-based leadership sessions are important. For policymakers, I think inclusivity and ensuring that artificial intelligence can reach the lowest of the lowest cadre is very important. And some of the key takeaways is that to empower women, we need both artificial intelligence and emotional intelligence. We need strategic partnerships between academia and industry, and definitely policy reforms percolating from the top to the bottom are important. And I think women empowerment and artificial intelligence are linked today in today's world. And because I'm living that in Dubai, and it was very important to bring that to the forefront and also to speak about how empowerment is not just for women who are traumatized, but also women who are in a good walk of life, and to reveal that while in Dubai we are all doing very well, most of the women are doing very well, it's still important for them to be brought into leadership role and to be given mentoring and to be look at gender bias that they might be facing, and to bring that to this part of the world for me was important.
Audrey Kitagawa, founder of International Academy for Multicultural Cooperation, made a presentation titled Strong Emotional Intelligence Enhances Resilience in Women Facing Crisis and Distress. She emphasized on the importance of emotional intelligence for women to navigate crisis effectively.
In low-income countries, only 20% of the population is connected to the internet. On average, globally, women have less understanding of technology, fewer digital skills, and less presence on online platforms. So technology can be used to intimidate, abuse, and control women who now face the additional threat of online harassment and exploitation. So according to author Daniel Coleman, who I'm sure you've all heard about, he wrote the international bestseller Emotional Intelligence, Why It Can Matter More Than IQ. A person with high emotional intelligence will not just handle crisis, but be able to thrive through unexpected and unfortunate circumstances. So each of the 5 pillars of emotional intelligence, which is self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills, help to build resilience. So 1, self-awareness, helps us to manage our emotions and make conscious choices about how to react. 2, self-regulation helps us manage impulsive behavior that might cause more harm than good. 3, intrinsic motivation results from a strong sense of purpose guided by core values. 4, empathy helps us connect with others who are facing challenges. And 5, social skills equip us to resolve conflicts, collaborate, and build networks. These are the important partnerships that were previously mentioned. And a study of children facing and overcoming hardships found that the most resilient children had strong relationships with caregivers, usually their mothers, who showed them unconditional acceptance. So children who feel seen, loved, and listened to were the most resilient. So the quality of caregiving, primarily by mothers, but also by teachers and other strong social connections and social support, helps children to thrive. And the conclusion of this study importantly stated, the resilience rests fundamentally on relationships.
Basically, today's event was very important because we're talking about values and having a moral, ethical compass as we move through life. And it is these values, whether they arise out of our own self, the self-awareness, self-actualization, but also the self-empowerment and taking responsibility for how we move and live in the world. And all of these points were basically covered in today's conversation, and we need to keep having more of these conversations.
Paulina Ciplian, Education Coordinator of ATOP Meaningful World, presented on nurturing EI locally and globally. Through images and slides, she outlined Meaningful World's 35-year humanitarian efforts and mental health education programs across the globe.
And now a little bit of examples of what we've done. So this is in Uganda. We're looking at SDG 2, which is zero hunger. And we have made many efforts in Uganda, especially in the recent year after our mission there, to feed and heal the starving children in the slums. And it's still an ongoing project that we have. We also have to ensure gender equality, and it's very important that we include boys and men in our wellness and emotional education programs. So here we are in Rwanda doing just that. Here we have the SDGs 3, 4, and 5, where when our team was in Saudi Arabia, we facilitated and empowered women to begin driving vehicles, which is rare for them. And SDG 5, gender inequalities post-natural disaster, it's a very interesting fact that I didn't know that even when there is natural disaster, there are gender inequalities within that. So, for example, in the Sri Lankan tsunami, more women than men died, and this could be due to multiple different things. Like in any type of disaster, these points that we have up here, educational disparities, power differentials, cultural restrictions, and gender issues in recovery all kind of play a role in this inequality after disasters. Here at SDG 5, continuing with working with gender equality, we have in Haiti, we're working with different people in the orphanage, and then in DR Congo as well, working with children. We are also focused on empowering women at home, that's in New York, and also worldwide in Kenya. In Sierra Leone, we're pointing out this picture of us working with men and encouraging them to be a part of our wellness and humanitarian training and emotionally dealing with their negative emotions.
Hurigo Delekian, chair of NGO CSW New York, shared her wisdom being the chair of CSW for 4 years. She referred to the Beijing Declaration in 1995, which took place in Beijing, China, and Dr. Skalajian's participation and work during this historical event.
2 weeks, we're celebrating the 30th anniversary of the Beijing Platform for Action, which is actually the feminist guidebook. It is the most important decision that 189 countries agreed on, but not delivered yet.
Yeah.
Yet we are very happy to at least have that document. And it's interesting because, as you mentioned, I started 14 years ago in this field, but 2020 was actually one of our favorite epitome moments when we said, okay, Beijing plus 25, we're going to create the Generation Equality Forum, and we're going to reach more people. We're going to make sure that all of those member states that committed to the Beijing Platform for Action now have to deliver. And $40 billion were raised globally to help achieve that. And many commitments came on board, and then COVID happened. And it's interesting, we of course did our best to deliver on our promises, and yet, as you can imagine, nobody expected the world to be shut down at that level, and we were not able to do everything that we wanted to do. And similarly, 5 years later, we all gathered and really tried to see how can we this time around address this. And as we all know, the world is also trying to shut us down again. And at this time, it's really from the United States. With the election results, we are all suffering from the cutbacks and the finances that are being taken back. Obviously, one of the reasons why we do get pushed back, men are not participating, and it's the men, and I can specifically point to some of our leaders right here in the United States right now who really do need some practice in, emotional intelligence, EI, right? So happy to be here at CSW 69, participating with Dr. Ani Kalajian, who actually was at Beijing in 1995. We're celebrating the 30th anniversary and really integrating all the modern technologies of AI and EI to make sure that we do deliver gender equality as promised in Beijing.
Convocation was done by Mr. Eric Shokel Manikian from Union Theology Seminary, who moved the audience both in meditation and physical release, while Mr. William Rutz, an award-winning indigenous Native American percussionist, energized the audience. In conclusion, several audience members made remarks sharing their own thoughts and experience in connection to the topics covered during the meeting.
And we are scaling globally. This is our commitment to scale it to all globally by 2030. It saved more than 300 lives and directly impacted more than 44,000 women, while we reached 1 million women already. And safe use or recognized digital public good by UN Secretary General because of the way we created the code and how much ethics we put there to make sure that AI serves humanity and serves the immediate needs of women, making them feel safe, connected to community. And in the meantime, we're equipping governments and NGOs with necessary tools to prevent violence against women through our AI data analytics.
As an African woman, as a black woman, as somebody from a developing country, and I say this with all respect and all my apologies because it's really not meant to be critical. But as a feminist, I think there is a responsibility, a collective responsibility, like she mentioned, for us to be really, compassion and social responsibility. And that social responsibility needs to be personal and needs to be collective. But we cannot take care of the collective, so we only can take care of the personal, what personally each one can do.
An exciting program like all of our other programs, but this is especially close to my heart because it's about the Commission of Status of Women. And I was there in Beijing in 1995 with Hillary Clinton and Ferraro and everyone, and witnessed the power of women. And you know, it was so shocking that they put a stop to the World Conference, and we are having just annual commissions, but nothing huge. And the topic is also very important, nurturing emotional intelligence, so that AI is a wonderful tool. But the over 50 countries that we volunteer in, I can say that on 90% of those don't have AI. I mean, they don't even have Wi-Fi or electricity. So it's not even about the developing countries. So who's benefiting are those who are developed and who have the funds and who have the means to nurture it. So hopefully we can create platforms and have developing countries be a little more developed, so there's not as much disparity. And also we hope that to involve and engage more men, so that we are doing this together. They keep saying women hold half the sky, but half the sky, 90% of half the sky is left ignored. So it is to the man's advantage to use the resources that are being wasted that women possess. So for me, the message is to men, because we are preaching to the choir, and it's time for men to wake up and join the movement.